Good morning and welcome to Assembly Budget Subcommittee 4 on State Administration hearing on this Thursday, May 21st. We will start as a subcommittee right now and start with item number 2, issue number 2, on the items to be heard. I expect this to be a fairly quick meeting. Most of the items are vote only. And if we can start with Mr. Wood coming to the desk and the Department of Housing and Community Development. Yeah. And before you start, what I'm going to do, since we have a quorum now, we'll take a quick roll call.
Nazarian.
Present.
Allen, Cooper, Weber. Here. Wilk.
Present.
Great. Please start.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Chair and members. I want to thank the Chair and your staff for all of your help on this issue. The City of Santa Rosa has worked with Burbank Housing, a nonprofit, on a project to increase affordable housing units in Sonoma County. The project, Catalina Townhomes, has relied on funds from HCD's Building Equity and Growth in Neighborhoods, or BEGIN program, to help finance the construction of these homes. The project was on track to complete 60 affordable housing units for low-income families in my district. The BEGIN program awarded $3.8 million to make the project a reality. Construction on 32 homes has already started, but the project has run into a major setback. The City of Santa Rosa was informed 2 weeks ago that by HCD that $3.8 million has to be spent by next month, June 30th, 2015, or risking losing the funding. The deadline places the entire Catalina Townhomes project in jeopardy. Given the size of this project in my district, losing the $3.8 million in financing is absolutely unacceptable. The proposed budget language will provide a 2-year extension of HCD's BEGIN program, which will allow the City of Santa Rosa to complete the construction of the 60 affordable homes. I have a witness here with me, and I think there's other folks that want to speak as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members. David Jones on behalf of the City of Santa Rosa. We'd like to thank Mr. Wood and others and your staff who have been very helpful on this issue. This is a crisis. Burbank Housing is a very valued affordable housing developer in Northern California, and if they don't get this fixed, they will go bankrupt. So it's critical for them, and there are some others that are in the same situation. Due to no fault of their own, they relied on the possibility of getting an administrative extension, and that didn't materialize due to legal reasons. So absent this fix, the affordable housing developer and the development won't go forward. So we'd strongly thank you and urge you to take action on this item and approve this item. And again, thank your staff and others for our help on this issue.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Susan Riggs, Acting Director of the Department of Housing and Community Development, and we have been working very closely with the city to exhaust all administrative remedies. At this point, the administration has not fully vetted the proposal and does not have a position.
Okay. Any other comments from LAO Finance?
Mary Halterman, Department of Finance. So this is the last minute issue that was being raised by the outside entities to the legislature. However, we have not had a chance to fully vet this issue, and we currently do not have a position on this proposal until we've had a chance to complete our due diligence to determine if the extensions are indeed necessary.
Great. Any public comment on this?
Move the recommendation. No.
Second.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Mr. Levine had already also joined you in your efforts as well. So thank you very much.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Allen, Cooper, Weber. Aye. Wilk.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to, from the items to be heard, issue number 4 and 5. And thank you. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Treasurer.
Morning.
Please start, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. This is in regards to staff augmentation for strategic information training initiatives. We're kindly requesting the redirection of $1.4 million in special funds for 11 positions within the Treasurer's Office. There were 5 positions that were remaining held open. In regards to data and government transparency efforts. To present a backdrop, there hasn't been an upgrade in 7 years in regards to technology in the Treasurer's Office. The positions in regards to data and government transparency would be used to facilitate the online applications. Most of the submissions today in the Treasurer's Office are paper submissions. In addition, it provides for the ability for us to provide responses. This was a request from the executive officers in the Treasurer's Office. There's 14 BCAs, boards, commissions, and agencies that provide and enhance economic development. They are working on systems that are incredibly antiquated. We wanted to make sure that we are responsive to the taxpayers, the residents, to the legislators, to the businesses, and other government entities in providing information. If left to the current alternative, we would have to process that information manually. Obviously, it would take a considerable amount of time. We wanted to make sure that we provided maximum effectiveness. So again, this is a need that's been identified by the agency heads. It's a redirection, so it's no new request for general fund monies.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. I'm supportive. As we had discussed this previously, what I was looking for was a little more information, which we started getting some more. I appreciate that. I look forward to lengthier dialogue. What I'm proposing and happy to support is grant all the 5 that you are requesting, but conform to what the Senate did and just do it on a limited basis. Would love to have you come back next year and we can continue working on it. That'll give us all a great opportunity also to just hear how the development is moving forward as well.
Yeah, if you conform to the Senate, we'd appreciate that. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. So is there a motion for that?
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Great. And this is on item number 5. That's what we started with now. So just to clarify.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Weber.
Aye.
Wilk.
Aye.
Great. And if we'd like to say a few words on issue number 4.
The debt management system. We have an approved FSR from the year 13-14 for replacing our debt management system, and we had originally proposed in that feasibility study report to replace the entire system. Based on vendor feedback, which I believe we discussed at a previous hearing, we've determined that there's less risk to the state, less cost to the state, and a faster implementation if we change to an alternative procurement strategy of, rather than replacing the entire system, leveraging the core that exists and hiring consultants from the Master Services Agreement just to build the requirements onto our existing system. So we are seeking the continued funding that has already been approved for and designated for this year according to the feasibility and the budget change proposal of $1.4 million.
Okay. Any comments from LAO or Finance?
Helen Kirstein, Legislative Analyst's Office. We hadn't raised any specific concerns with the proposal. We just noted that because the proposal was a change from the submitted May BCP, that the legislature may wish to receive additional information from the department. And it seems that the staff recommendation to provide additional information is consistent with that.
Greg Bruss, Department of Finance. We have no concerns with the proposal.
Great. Any public comments on this? Comments from the members?
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Great.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Allen. Cooper.
Aye.
Weber.
Aye.
Wilk.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Okay. Let's take another roll call.
Cooper.
And let's go to the vote-only items. I believe we're going to cast 2 votes. One taking out items 2, 4, 9, and 11. Roll call.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Allen. Cooper. Aye. Weber.
Aye.
Wilk.
Aye.
Great. And then now just on the items 2, 4, 9, and 11.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Cooper. Aye. Weber.
Aye.
Wilk.
Nay.
Great. I'm going to skip over the Secretary of State item just to give an opportunity, I think, to some of the staff that are going to be attending the meeting, and we will go to issue 3 under the Department of Housing and Community Development. Thank you. I missed it. So this, among other initiatives, are part of the Sub-4 committee initiatives to fund farm worker housing. So with that, please start.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Susan Riggs, Acting Director of HCD again, and this is not a proposal that is coming from HCD, but I'm happy to provide some background on the programs that are being proposed to the extent that that is something that's helpful.
Please.
Okay. So the Joe Cerna Jr. program is something that is not currently funded. It's a program that allows for the construction or rehabilitation of housing for farm workers, for agricultural workers. It has provided, in the past, it's provided housing for agricultural workers in much of our agricultural areas in California. The OMS program, the Office of Migrant Services program, again, is not currently funded. We have 24 OMS centers throughout the agricultural areas in California. We do have some deficiencies in terms of the maintenance in our OMS centers, around about $12 million, $6 million of which has been covered by other sources. So there are some outstanding maintenance issues there that are currently not funded. The self-help program is primarily a technical assistance program. It's capped at about $300 million in technical assistance for folks that want to self-help in providing their housing. It's not technically a rural housing program, but oftentimes it is used in rural areas. And then finally, the $250,000 for Napa County farm worker housing. Napa has been proactive in constructing 3 farm worker housing facilities in their community that are currently underfunded, and they are requesting some support in order to maintain the operations of those facilities. At this point, we have not vetted the proposals and do not have a position.
Okay. Thank you. If there are any other comments from the table?
Tim Lynch on behalf of the Napa Valley Vintners, and specifically we're supporting the $250,000 augmentation for the Napa centers. These are unique around the state, and a blend of funding from the county, a self-assessment on the growers and rents that the farm workers themselves pay. And we're working with HCD, and we hope to move the item forward so we can keep these centers open.
And I'm appreciative of Mr. Dodd's efforts in support of this as well, and his letter.
And we appreciate your help, too. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, the members, Paul Yoder on behalf of the Napa County Board of Supervisors, along here with Mr. Lynch. As he said, this is the only county in the state that self-assesses for farm worker housing. We're just trying to keep it going. Just need a little patch. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Great. Any comments from LAO or Finance?
Mary Halterman, Department of Finance. We're currently opposed to this proposal. It's a last-minute addition that's being included by the legislature, and we've not had a chance to vet through this issue. And we haven't been provided with any analytical evidence that indicates the need for these additional funds at this time. In regards to the reported funding shortfall for Napa County, we don't have sufficient information such as what caused the funding shortfall and why funding is insufficient at the local level to cover the shortfall. Based on our records, Napa County should be receiving general purpose revenues, including a one-time mandate repayment, as well as ongoing residual property tax distributions as a result of the redevelopment agency dissolution process. And we believe that such funding should be more than sufficient to cover the shortfall that's reported.
Thank you. Public comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Brian Augusta on behalf of the California Rural Legal Assistance Foundation and the California Coalition for Rural Housing in support of each of the items in this measure. The CERNA program, just to pull one out, was in high demand when it was funded, and it meets a very unique piece of our housing funding demand in California, really reaching down to the farm workers, whether they're in Napa Valley or somewhere else in the state, provides that deep subsidy that will help house the folks who deliver food to our tables. So we're very strongly supportive of this effort, and we thank the committee for considering it, and we urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you. These programs have been very successful in the past, and so while I'd be interested also to know about some of the details that you pointed out to, at this point, I think this is an important issue to approve and move forward, and luckily we also have ongoing budget process that we can allow to work out some of the details. With that, are there any comments from the members?
Second.
Great.
Nazarian?
Aye.
Cooper? Weber? Wilk?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. In continuing with some of the Sub-4 and overall budget committee initiatives, wanted to have the Board of Equalization come up right now. We've heard about this item throughout the year, and so at this point, I'd like to continue the dialogue. That's issue number 6, Board of Equalization, Cigarette Tax and Licensing Program. Morning.
Good morning. My name is Edna Murphy. I'm the admin deputy with the Board of Equalization, and BOE haven't had an opportunity to vet this in any detail, but we have no problem working on this issue.
Great. Good to hear that. Thank you. Comments from Finance and LAO?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Mark Tolfson, Department of Finance. At this point, we can't support the language as currently proposed, as we believe it's too prescriptive to require the administration to develop a proposal. However, we are committed to working to continue to look at ways to streamline the program, and are definitely willing to work with staff to develop revised language.
Okay. Thank you, and thanks for your great presentation in the past on this. Recommendation is to adopt the staff recommendation and move it forward.
Nazarian?
Aye.
Cooper? Weber? Wilk?
Nay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, next item along the lines of the Sub-4 initiatives is the issue number 7, Department of Insurance and Franchise Tax Board. As I mentioned, this item is part of a Sub-4 and overall budget committee initiative, and breaks down into 2 components, which would be housed in the Department of Insurance and Franchise Tax Board, respectively. One having to do with a annual allocation of funding for the establishing of a 5-year program for seismic retrofit up to 30%, and second, a $3 million investment in the existing brace and bolt program housed under Department of Insurance. So with that, I'd like to open it up for just some brief comments from both of you who are joining us today, and please begin.
Good morning, members. Jana Carlson, Assistant Legislative Director for Franchise Tax Board. While we have not seen the proposal, we have an analysis outstanding of AB 428, a seismic retrofit at-risk property credit. The department has no implementation concerns with the language contained in AB 428, and we assume that the trailer bill language is similar.
Good morning, Chair Nazarian and committee members. My name is Erica Spurbeck. I'm the Deputy Commissioner for Administration and Licensing Services at the California Department of Insurance. As we've previously testified before you, earthquake protection for Californians is one of the highest priorities of Commissioner Dave Jones' second term, and the Commissioner appreciates Chair's leadership in this important area. As it relates to the proposal in the agenda and the staff comments and recommendations, while these are not CDI requests, we are generally supportive of these efforts. Our Deputy for Community Programs and Policy Initiatives, who is also Commissioner Jones' representative on the California Earthquake Authority Governing Board, is available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any comments from LAO or Finance?
Mark Tolleson, Department of Finance. At this point, we haven't had a chance to evaluate the revenue and cost impacts of the proposal, so we can't be supportive at this time.
Thank you. No public comments?
Move the recommendation. Second.
And the recommendation is $12 million for ongoing funding for 5 years for the seismic retrofit program and $3 million for the brace and bolt program. And just to clarify what I said before, the $3 million for base and bolt program is going to be a appropriation, a general appropriation. So, motion has been made, seconded.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Cooper.
Aye.
Weber.
Aye.
Wilk.
Aye.
Thank you so much. Next is the Governor's proposal on civil service. Issue number 8. Good morning, and if you can be very brief, we've already heard your comments on Tuesday, so please start.
Sure. Erica Lee with the Department of Finance. I'm here today to just, again, testify on the May revisions proposal to include several requests for civil service improvement. And this is an effort that we introduced at the governor's budget. We have been working on various work groups to come up with various ideas on how to streamline, make more nimble our civil service system. The first proposal that we have is the elimination of a government code that would, it's GC 12439, and basically this code allows the sweeping of vacant positions that have been left open for 6 or more months. In replacing that, we have a biannual process whereby we will be reviewing departments' last 3 years of historical budgets and what they've been spending on personnel, what they've been spending on their operations, and using that as a baseline to build the following year's budget for that department. And the idea, again, is to look at how departments are spending their dollars, where their need is, and to right-size that budget to enhance transparency for stakeholders such as the legislature. Another set of statutes that we're looking at eliminating deal with the hiring process. And so currently there exist in statutes various limits on the pool of people from which departments can hire from. And so we are proposing the elimination of 3 and amending of several others. And lastly, the proposal that we have before you is to no longer use limited term positions going forward. Instead, we are proposing the use of limited term funding for short-term efforts. So currently, departments who have limited term or short-term efforts receive limited term funding for limited term positions. And what we are proposing is that we allow departments to exercise the flexibility that they need to meet their efforts by giving them a bucket of dollars that will end when that effort is over. And departments may decide to backfill their vacant positions. They may hire into the blanket limited term temporary help. They may utilize, they may administratively establish positions, or if necessary, they can request permanent positions, come to you, the legislature, for that, and over time, through attrition and through other means, get back to a stable number once the effort is over. And the goal of all of these is really, again, to help departments be more flexible in meeting their needs, to be a little more efficient, to reduce limitations, while also balancing that with a proper amount of control and monitoring.
Great.
Nazarian.
Aye.
Cooper. Aye. Weber. Aye. Wilk.
Nay.
Thank you so much. Next item, Public Employment Relations Board, issue number 9. And again, this is part of the initiatives of Sub 4 as well as Budget Committee.